If I had to encapsulate how I'm feeling today, I would go with
Oh, feisty Johnny
I
Tsunami.
am a little bit, yeah.
You're encapsulating yourself as a fat, pudgy, angry white boy.
Don't shame yourself. That's my job. I give it 3 feisty Justins. Welcome. This is Flip Phone Confessional, a 90s, 2000s nostalgia podcast.
Yep.
Today we're talking about people that we've loved, potentially loved, still love, and who have maybe messed up a little bit.
Or a lot of it.
Or a lot of it. Hulk Hogan passed recently, and we're using that as a jump-off point to kind of talk about how do you find peace within these people that you've loved? There's like a 10-year-old version of me or a 17-year-old version of me or a 30-year-old version of me that loves something, and then they just completely screwed it. Shout out to Kanye, Diddy, Ellen DeGeneres.
Also, forgot about
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we jump in, how you doing, buddy? How are you?
Been a long day.
Yeah.
But I'm here. I'm here for you. So follow us. Cause I put in that work, yo.
I could tell, bro. Looking swole, bro.
Swole not.
Shout out to Johnny?
Not Joey?
Joey
we won't even get into that. Anyway. So
thanks for asking. I'm doing well today as well.
I don't care. I do care, actually.
But I'm feeling a little feisty. We're talking. I don't know.
On one.
Yeah,
I love it. I'm actually here for feisty Brandon. Could I go more like chipper, little squirrel that sings with Snow White kind of energy? And today you were like, no, I'm going to make fun of you and I'm going to make you hate yourself.
I got some sleep. I got some sex. Let's be real.
Woo!
I know. I got some sugar. I got some caffeine. So I'm really well balanced.
He is
now.
on one.
Yeah, and I've been thinking about this topic of with people that have been canceled, people who have had notoriety.
Yep.
And that for whatever reason, I don't know, even the word canceled kind of annoys me, but people that we've put up on a pedestal that have put themselves specifically out into the public eye to be consumed either as an entertainer or an influencer or something of that. And then they have have a fallen from grace moment.
Yep.
What
different degrees, let's say, different levels of fall.
Yeah. How do they ingratiate themselves to either have that comeback story? Because honestly, America loves watching someone fall from grace and make their way back in again.
Tiger Woods. Perfect example.
Dude, great example.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Tiger Woods. And I think it's also a product of the time we're in, because I bet if that scandal hadn't happened and happened now, I think it's a lot more polarizing to not be able to come back.
Mm-hmm.
But we could use that as an example. Tiger Woods had the scandal back in I think it was like Thanksgiving of 2009 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he had that apology video, which was really weird with Nike, where it's the black and white montage. He's just standing there, but there's the recording of his dad that had passed away that was overplaying it. That was just like
weird.
It was a deep commercial, but people are like, you're using your dead dad's audio as kind of like a
totally
cop-out.
Exactly.
But he came back. He won. Was it a Masters? He won one of the majors.
Definitely. Yeah.
And then it's kind of like all forgiven. You know, he was losing his sponsorships. He was losing deals. He got a divorce. But then, of course, I think people like to see that. They want to knock you down a peg and want to see how resilient you are on the way back up, depending on what knocks you down. Because I think if it was egregious enough, they want to knock you down and keep you down.
Right. I think there are different levels to this. If you've messed up to the point of being convicted and going to jail for something, I think that is a very specific delineation.
Correct.
Now, beyond that, if you've not been actually put away for a crime and you're just being tried in the court of public opinion, this is where canceled truly comes in.
I think in most instances, court of public opinion is worse than the actual court system.
I disagree. I think if you go away for something, then the court of public opinion has, generally speaking, gone with you on that. And you don't have the ability to be canceled, because canceled is almost an implication that we as a society are deciding that you don't deserve to make money off of us liking you. And therefore one segment of the population is going to say, nope, we shouldn't like this person and they should be shamed for that, because there's no other way that they're shamed. If you are locked away in prison, generally speaking, you're not going to be influencing anyone anywhere anyway.
Let me clarify on what I mean. Most recent example is someone like Johnny Depp.
Okay.
court of public opinion does not have a judge, a jury, and a sentencing. It is only an immediate decision without all of facts and people's perspective coming out. Johnny
Okay.
Depp was canceled from Pirates, from a lot of
Right.
brand deals
Right.
before the court system, right? So going
Sure.
through the court
Sure,
system and actually prove that he was innocent,
Right.
and
To a
that
degree.
actually- to a degree, he
Yeah.
was. They both seemed to hate each other equally,
Yeah.
but they sided with Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
But again, court of public opinion, if it's a no, it doesn't matter what information comes out with it. Your sentence is already done. Like there's no information gathering or proceedings or hearings.
Yeah.
So I would say court of public opinion happens before the actual court system. That's why I would say it's worse, because even if you're innocent, if the public decides
Yeah.
you're guilty, even if the court system proves you're innocent, you can't get that back.
I think Johnny Depp has gotten some of that back. Not wholly.
Yeah.
And the thing is I don't think that Johnny Depp is capital I innocent.
Yeah.
Right? He is part of that whole scandal.
Yeah.
At the very least, though, he's still hanging out with his buddies, smoking cigs, getting high, playing guitar, and not being in prison. That's the only difference that I'm saying.
I gotcha. And I would say, yeah, I mean, but Johnny Depp was in all these movies all the time, and then there is maybe whispers he's coming back in the new Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, he can come back. OJ ain't coming back. You know what I mean? Like, you've really committed a crime.
OJ did come back though before he died. He was getting popular on social media. Like people were like gravitating.
But at the end of the day, you murdered two people. So like, you can't really come back.
No, he just wrote a book on if he were to do it. He went to jail because of memorabilia fraud.
Fucking bulls. And
isn't that amazing?
For stealing his shit back.
His own stuff. How ironic is that? Sorry, I'm going to
insane.
break into your store because, hey, that's actually my shit and I want it back.
That's so crazy. I will say, in the court of public opinion, I think that is the terrain that comes from having a job and making money, having, things in life that are presented to you that are making your life better because you are in the public eye.
Got it.
Like that just kind of comes with it.
Yeah.
If you are going to benefit from being a star athlete, from being a star actor,
increased scrutiny always.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's a double-sided thing.
Yeah.
To where you can easily screw that up because you've also easily earned it in this other way.
Much easier to screw up today than it was 20 years ago.
Correct.
With smartphones. Because again, back 20 years ago, I'd say you had paparazzi that would ruin your life, which again, they were following you around pretty closely, but there's probably a lot of things you skated by on. Now, everyone's paparazzi. It only takes a person sitting next to you at the dinner table to be recording on their phone of whatever's going on. That's it.
Right. LeBron James is talking the other day about how much he loves New York and he could see himself living there.
Yeah.
And that's just someone sitting at a sushi bar overhears that. Going back to Hogan, right? He has that conversation, sex tape comes out in which he's using the N-word.
Yep.
N-word comes out. He gets killed for it. Understandably so, because you're saying you're using very racist, disparaging, comments and language. Comes out and he's like, hey, that was me. I apologize, da-da-da-da. And then it comes out a few days later, I don't even know how much later, that he goes into a WWF locker room and he basically talks about, oh, yeah, got to be careful because anyone can be listening anywhere. That's kind of like the thing that I learned in this whole thing was I got to be mindful about who's recording me when.
As opposed to actual lessons.
Correct. So I get what he's saying in a vacuum, right? Yeah. It is all right, hey guys, you WWE wrestlers, here's what I've learned. Be mindful of this. But even in the fact that gets out shows how fucking dumb he is. You gotta be smart about what you're saying. And especially in that specific instance, if you care about your image, obviously, first of all, hopefully you're a good person. You think, oh my God, I have some not only internalized racism, but externalized racism to the point where I'm commenting on my daughter's boyfriend and I'm hoping she's not dating a black guy, right? Maybe I should hopefully take a look at that and reorganize some of these these judgments and, you know, shitty things that I think about certain segments of the population.
Yeah.
Hopefully you do that. If you don't, then you got to learn to apologize. And this actually links up specifically so well with the Astronomer CEO.
Yeah. Oh my
It
God.
just came out. They're at the Coldplay concert. They get found out
That
as they're canoodling on video.
do you have that letter? You should read that letter.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm getting to that.
Okay.
Because exactly what happens to Hogan in this situation where he's like, hey, also, you know, what really got me messed up is someone was recording me. The Astronomer guy, he's like, oh, I apologize if this happened, da-da-da-da.
but Coldplay.
And Coldplay, why are you videoing me? Which you're like, wow, you're fucking dumb. You
Super
are
dumb.
such an
How are you a
idiot.
billionaire? Right?
Totally.
Like, well,
Well-
half billionaire now.
You also had a PR company reading this thing, and they decided that was the right way to go.
Do you
about it.
think he had a PR company read it, or was he just like so emotional in the moment? He saw this and he's like, yep, this is good. I'm going to end it with a Coldplay lyric as well, and then press send.
I think he had a PR company, and I think he said at a certain point, you know what, no, this is what I really want to say. I also am like so butthurt that they found me on the big screen that this destroyed my life, which, bummer, totally bummer that this happened and that this destroyed your life. Also take some fucking responsibility. Don't blame it on the fucking Jumbotron that you were banging some other woman at your company. That doesn't matter. Just shut the fuck up. Say that to your buddy when you're like, you know, smoking a fucking cig late at night. You're like, God damn that fucking Coldplay.
So I think that's a really interesting thing to think about is how do we navigate people I wouldn't say we looked up to, but you could maybe say looked up to or idolized when you were kids or teens, where information comes out that, man, they're actually not good people at all. Do you feel remorse? Do you feel sympathy?
Yeah.
Where do they fall in importance to you internally? So, you know, and you and I talked about this when I heard the news that Hulk Hogan died.
Yeah.
It didn't really affect me. I wasn't a huge wrestling fan.
Mhm.
I didn't follow Hulk Hogan's life. I just remember there being like a reality show about his daughter, I think back when I was a teen.
Yeah. Hogan
Other than that, hasn't been a thought in my head. When he
Right.
died and I saw it, I was sad not because Hulk Hogan, the person, died. I was sad because of what it represents, right? Let's talk like someone like, I don't want to say, let's say Kanye. You're a big music guy.
Yeah.
Freaking Through the Wire, that high school dropout album when I was in high school.
So sick.
Some of the best songs. Kanye, from a musician standpoint, probably one of
Great
the
guy.
best,
Awesome hand.
probably one of the greatest producers of all time when it comes to hip hop.
Sure. Yeah.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
I can't.
You know.
Yeah,
from personal
how would I
experience,
know
right?
as a person? But you know, did his music did you have an attachment to his music growing up?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Until
Can you listen to his music now?
I can. I choose not to.
Got it.
He is not one of my favorite rappers of all time. Of course, some of that has been influenced by him just completely going apeshit
Yeah.
and losing it
Yeah.
several times over the years. I think a better corollary for me is like Michael Jackson. Like I loved Michael Jackson and still love his music in a way where it is problematic within me.
Yeah.
I'll be at a wedding and I'll hear the right? And it still moves my body and I still want to dance and still want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I know that he's not been convicted for anything. I know that he's dead. I know he's passed on. But I know that where there's a shit ton of smoke, there's probably a shit ton of fire.
Yeah.
And now I have to think about that. And now I don't really include Michael Jackson on like playlists that I make for people. Kanye, it's a lot easier. And see, I don't even know why it's so much easier. I think because there's so much evidence of him being a fucking asshole from his mouth.
Yeah.
With the Michael Jackson thing, I guess it's that I've seen that there's plenty of men who have come forward and said that he abused me when I was younger, but I don't actually see Michael Jackson doing those things. I don't see him being hateful. And so as
It's easier to rationalize.
it's not that I'm even rationalizing it, but as I'm talking through it right now, I recognize some hypocrisy within me. based upon how much I like Michael Jackson's music more than I like Kanye's, based on the fact that I see Kanye being hateful in real time, still living today, versus I don't have any of that. I don't see or hear Michael being hateful.
Like if there is visual or audio evidence of that, it would probably be much easier to be like, wow, I'm never listening to that music ever again.
Which is, I think, how we in the court of public opinion tend to organize things. Because if there is that hardcore evidence, then it's going to be way easier for me to, with Hulk Hogan, oh, you said the N-word, you're racist. There's these other instances of you being a shitty person where I can just press a button and I can just see it and I can hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be much easier for me to be like, you know what, fuck off.
Yeah.
I think music is different than wrestling, obviously, or certain actors, or like Kobe Bryant, for example.
Yeah.
Like, I am a Lakers fan. And Kobe had that whole scandal for sexual assault. He was never convicted. Yet again, where there's smoke, there's fire. He even admitted that learning after going through the initial court proceedings that he's aware that the woman that he had that night with, clearly, he said in retrospect, he understands that she did not consent and apologize for it. Da-da-da-da. Whatever. Neither here nor there. What I'm saying is like, I'm not driving and putting on, I'm putting on maybe a Kanye song or a Michael Jackson song, or I'm like out at a restaurant and I hear one of those things.
Yeah.
I'm not consuming old Hulk Hogan videotape.
Yeah.
I'm not throwing on, Lakers championships from 2001 with at least the same regularity.
Got it.
If I were to be doing that, then I would be truly having to investigate, like, where does this lie within me? Why am I still such a Hulk Hogan fan?
Yeah.
And that's what's so interesting to me, because I've seen so many people comment with Hulk Hogan's passing.
Yeah.
This division and this divisiveness.
Clear division.
Right. About like, is it okay to celebrate him?
What is the term, two Americas? I think that's a perfect example.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it okay to celebrate him? Is it okay to vilify him? And is it okay to speak about either of those two things? Because I see the people that are like being celebratory, being condemned. I'm seeing the people that are saying, yeah, but he's a shitty fucking person, being condemned by the people that want to celebrate him. And so as a 90s
there's
podcast,
people, it's like you said, it's people who are celebrating his life and people who are celebrating his death.
Right.
Yeah.
As a nostalgia podcast, I think this is something interesting that we're all kind of going through with these various heroes that we grew up with. Not that Hulk Hogan was ever a hero of mine, but I remember him. I totally had a Hulk Hogan doll at some point.
Yeah.
He was this like huge 6'5" muscle bound man, like so perfectly fit for the 80s. And just everything that represented. And then to just watch that disintegrate, I'm fascinated with the people that want to hold on to that.
I think it's, again, they're holding on to their childhood. That's what I think it's rooted in, honestly.
And so that's why they're defending him in the face of, clearly there are things about this man that are not great. But I think the people that have the issue with is the people that are policing the other side of it. I can understand the person who is like, I love wrestling, I love Hulk Hogan, and that mattered a lot to me. And that part I wish to honor with the part of this person that gave this thing to me.
I would assume these people that Hulk Hogan meant a lot to, again, this is where I have conversations with people when they talk about nostalgia. When I think of like people who, have fond memories of Hulk Hogan, I bet it's maybe that person thinks back to when he was sitting on the couch with his older brother who might be dead. And so that was really special to him in those moments. Or he went to a WWE match with his dad who's no longer here, but that was a really special memory and he always held on to that. And now that's gone in a sense, right? That's where I think a lot of that comes in. Again, I'm not a psychologist, I'm a psychiatrist, but if I take it from my own lens, when I have an attachment to something, it's not to the person or the object, it's to whatever feeling or memory that is tied to that.
Yeah, so that's when I would just challenge those people to not be so binary, right? The memory with your dad, the memory with your brother isn't just binary with Hulk Hogan or not with Hulk. You can still find shades of gray and really start to be like, oh, you know what? I really appreciated that moment that I had with him then. In light of these new things that I've learned about Hulk Hogan, maybe I've deified him to a degree that is probably, I mean, I'm assuming this theoretical person is like, oh, I actually don't want to like beat my wife, or I don't want to be a racist. And so I'm going to lessen this deification that I've done of Hulk Hogan while still maintaining these amazing memories with my father and with my brother. I will just now recontextualize the memory that I have to be like, rather than going to see Hulk Hogan and how much we loved Hulk Hogan, it was how much we loved wrestling and how stoked we were to go to the Coliseum to watch them wrestle each other. And so that's the part where I'm like, oh man, I wish you could extrapolate that part of yourself to take on new information. It's not that I think that people are saying you shouldn't have those great memories with your brother, but it's like, come on, like grow and evolve a little bit to be like, huh, I still love wrestling. I still like have those memories, but I don't need to like hold on and fight for Hulk Hogan, die literally on the Hulk Hogan hill in order to keep this part of myself.
Maybe it's because they think it tarnishes the memory too, and they don't want to come to that truth.
Right. Okay. So that's a really good point. So tarnishing that truth is now attached to this other flawed human.
Correct.
And to defend the flawed human, we're all human. We're all going to fuck up. Da, 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 da. But to be the person who is now in a chat room or is in a comment space, who is going back and forth with another person because
we see you.
Well, because they're mourning this death of this person who is connected to this thing within themselves.
Yeah.
I understand it on a human level that you would want to defend that part of yourself because you can't extrapolate.
But you're a lot more self-aware person than I would say a majority of the population.
Maybe I think about these things more than other people do. But that's just kind of what I'm asking people to do, is just think a little bit more.
Are you allowed to separate the art from the artist? Like, you can, you can hate Hulk Hogan, the individual, but can you still love Hulk Hogan, the wrestler? Is that allowed?
So I don't think there are any hard or fast rules to any of these things. I think they're contextual. And I think it depends upon your level of closeness with the person or with their art.
But when I see those comments, I don't think they separate it. If someone says, oh, I loved Hulk Hogan, they're just immediately going to be like, you mean the person, you're a really shitty person because you liked Hulk Hogan. When all they could be saying is, I loved Hulk Hogan, the caricature, the person, the persona that he played on TV.
Sure.
But I don't think that's allowed. I think it's so in today's society, especially on the internet, it's black and white.
I think that's the point. I think on the internet, because
there's no nuance on the internet.
Right. Because as we're talking, it's like I can share with you my complicated feelings that I have with Michael Jackson, or that I have with Kobe, or that I have with whomever the fuck else. Because as a human being, or at least as Brandon Baker, I want to have the right or the flexibility to share my emotions and my thoughts and my feelings, even if I know that they aren't like great all the time. Sometimes I tell my wife, I go, babe, I'm going to say something right now. I don't even think I believe it, but I need to kind of
walk through it.
Yeah, I need to like work through my stuff. And the internet is not a place for gray area.
No.
It's not a place for nuance. Typically, it's people who are extreme on one side or the other.
Yep.
It's definitely people who don't want to like participate in a discourse, in a thoughtful, interesting
conversation.
Right. To discover themselves and to like change and evolve.
But it seems like in today's age and society, if someone's done something wrong, there's no room for nuance. You can't accept that person or hold on to that.
I know, because I think people like to be entrenched on whatever side that they're on, due to a few different things.
Yeah.
I think some of it is tribalism, like wanting to belong to a certain set of people, of groupthink.
Of values,
Yeah, that gives you an identity. I think in our culture today, long form, no one wants to do long form of anything, right? No one wants to read a book. No one wants to watch a 10-minute video. You want a 30-second clip to just consume that will elicit a response of like, oh, I'm angry, or oh, I'm passionate.
Yeah.
Or like, how could they fucking say that?
we're the generation, or we're the society now of immediate gratification.
Totally.
If you send a text and it doesn't send for 3 seconds, people are getting mad. Or you open up a web browser and spend 5 seconds, it hasn't load. You're like, what's wrong?
Right.
Like,
So
we have zero patience.
So to sit and either have this kind of conversation
Yeah.
with someone, or to watch two other people who you don't know have this conversation is honestly just not as great of a dopamine rush.
Yeah.
Going back to what we were talking about, like whom and why these people are so rooted, or like why people have this connection, I think it is somewhat going back to that tribalist thing of, I think it depends on how much you like the content that they're putting out, their art, or you know, if I'm a basketball player, then maybe I have a closer tie to Kobe.
Got it.
Right? If I like R&B music, then maybe I have or if I'm like a black dude, maybe I have more of a tie to Kanye and Michael than I would otherwise. But that could also be religion. That could be politics.
Yeah.
That can be all of these things. I mean, when I see the Hulk Hogan thing, I'm actually a white guy. I'm half white. Visually, I'm obviously a brown guy, but half of my my last name is Baker. Those are white people. You know, I fucking love my Baker clan.
Yeah.
My Filipino side's the Labios. I love both. So I kind of grew up in this middle ground, knowing that I was different and that I was also part of both.
Yeah.
With the Hulk Hogan thing, and I see these people who are really defending him, especially with the racist stuff, wanting to look past that, I can't help but think, oh, maybe there's a portion of you that hasn't examined that for yourself. Maybe you're around a lot more racist people. Maybe you have an uncle or a dad that says similar comments to that.
Yeah.
And you know, part of you sees the internet and goes, oh yeah, it's actually bad for me to be racist. And yet I am around in this culture, which racism is prevalent. Maybe I use the N-word. Maybe people around me use the N-word. And I know that my dad and my uncle is actually a good person on the whole. I know that they go to church and they do all these things. And so that's where, to not be with your family or your friends that are maybe saying Hulk Hogan's the best, means that you are going to in some way ostracize yourself from not only your tribe, but also your identity. Because then it's going to make you investigate, what are the parts of me that might be racist? Maybe my dad and my uncle might be a little bit of racist. And then
maybe they don't want to have that internal struggle.
Well, because it does cost a lot.
Yeah.
Depending on how, how big that is within your family or your community.
Yeah.
Because to tear that thing down and to really look at it and to find nuance. It's like this thing of, I was talking to a friend the other day where he was basically saying to me that it's almost easier for him to construct his own idea of like manhood and family because he knew growing up that his family wasn't great. He grew up in an environment in which his mom and his dad didn't have a great relationship. And that allowed him to take little bits and pieces from both his mom and his dad and be like, I know that they weren't perfect, their marriage wasn't perfect, but I'm going to take this really good part from my dad. I'm going to leave this other part that I don't like about him behind. And I'm going to take this really good part about my mom and this other part that I didn't really agree with and leave it behind. And I'm going to construct this new idea. Versus if he had a family that was like on the whole pretty good, you want to have this romantic belief that, oh, my parents and the way that I grew up is the right way to have grown up.
Got it.
And so I'm going to perpetuate all these things because it's easier for me to just go, yeah, that's the way that we always did it. And we're good people on the whole. And so they're good people. And I'm not going to be investigative or critical in any way. And it's just fucking easier.
Yeah. Instead of self-reflection.
Totally.
Yeah. No, and again, it's just, like you said, they attach it to something. That's my whole point.
Yeah.
They might attach him to a parent. They might attach him to a family member or, a memory, an item that they hold dear to them. And it is easier for them to overlook it, to cherish this, than to try and nuance it.
I think most of us want to see people learn and grow and change. And that's when I think America allows people to come back if they show that they are sincere in their apology. Right now, there's something going on with Neon, who is a Twitch, big, huge YouTuber. You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you know the person that I'm talking about?
Neon? No.
He's like a
I know
younger
Ninja.
Twitch influencer, kind of in that realm. There's some videos coming out about him basically admitting to the fact that he hates black people or has talked disparagingly about. And there are several of these clips from 2023, 2024.
Oh, that's recent.
Very recent. Now, he was 19 and 20 when those came out, and now in 2025, he's 21, and he comes out with this video apologizing to where he says, like, hey, I just want to have a conversation with you on a human-to-human level. And you just press pause and you go, like, fuck off. Fuck you. Because
You know it's all an act.
well, a year ago and 2 years ago, that's not very long ago, these people were not human. I mean, he called, I don't know, somebody a monkey, right? So you're wanting to talk on a human to human level now, but literally a year or 2 years ago, you were saying that they weren't human. There is distinct video and distinct evidence of this. And so when there is that distinct evidence, yeah, you got to try a lot harder and over a longer period of time to show that you have changed, to show that you truly have learned.
Yeah,
Which is what
actual personal growth.
which is what Hogan didn't do. Hogan was like, oh yeah, I'm sorry about this. And then there would all be these other things that would come out and showcase that, like, I don't know if you really mean about that. I think you're more upset that you got caught rather than thinking, oh, there's actually something about myself that I did wrong here.
Yeah, do you think that's a generational thing? Do you think that's because more of his fans would fall in the boomer and Generation X? Not, what is it?
Yeah,
Generation X?
Yeah.
Relative to, say, Millennial and Gen Z, because that demographic isn't really a part of what you would quote as classifies quote unquote cancel culture. So his base was in great, like, ride or die with him no matter what.
I'd like to believe in that. And then I see this kid Neon, who is either a white kid or maybe he's like Middle Eastern, and he's perpetuating the same gross racial stereotypes
Mhm.
and, yeah, honestly, like, vile behavior.
Fuck you.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, for real. Fuck you, fuck off. I feel for him on a human level, and honestly, I feel for Hulk Hogan on a human level.
Yeah.
Because I see myself in there. I see a person who, there's been several times in my life where I thought, oh my God, I didn't think of that. Oh my God, there was that part of me, that version of me that I was blind to, that I didn't know. And it was like honest ignorance. But when you are made aware of the ignorance, what do you do at that point that really matters?
Yeah.
Are you able to leave behind, your boomer identity, your millennial identity, or your Gen Z identity? Because Neon was saying, oh, I feel this way because my dad was robbed
Mhm.
and held at gunpoint from a black guy. Got it. Okay, you have an inciting event that makes you feel a certain way, and then that's creating some sort of stereotype in your mind. Do better, honestly. And maybe it's not even his fault. Maybe that's perpetuated by his dad.
Yeah.
And now the internet is coming at you. The culture, the society is saying, hey, the way that you are is like pretty shitty and fucked up, and we're going to hold you accountable for it. Do better in that moment.
Yeah.
Have the courage within you to go, I'm still upset that this happened to my father in this isolated incident, but for me to generalize an entire group of people and to perpetuate hate upon them because of something that happened to my dad, or maybe something that my dad was spewing a narrative to me, I can at least say, I love my dad for being an amazing dad in all these other ways. And because I'm aware that he's a flawed human being, because I know that I'm a flawed human being,
Yeah.
I'm going to say, I'm not going to take that with me. I'm not going to perpetuate that. I can still love my father,
Mhm.
and I'm going to not be a fucking asshole moving forward.
Yeah, I think it just comes back to effort.
Self-awareness. Are you learning? Are you growing? Can you think outside of the inherited cultural, societal beliefs that you grew up in?
And on that note, no, I agree. I think that's a great quote. Just, I wouldn't say just do better. I would say at least try to do better. As you're saying,
Yeah.
if we're all flawed human beings, I think effort matters. So no one's expecting perfection from anyone. I hope no one expects perfection from me.
Yeah.
So I would say just attempt to better yourself in whatever facet or fashion that is. Just try and do better.
Yeah, just continue to grow.
Yeah.
Don't encase your identity into something rigid. I understand how that's hard sometimes because breaking out of your identity, or at least what the people around you expect you to be,
It's painful.
is hard.
Yeah.
And it requires loss for other people, loss for yourselves. But if that makes you a better person, and I mean specifically a person that is gooder, are you a better quality human?
Mhm.
Then I think that's important. The identities that oftentimes we find ourselves in are given to us because we're born in a certain time, in a certain place, to a certain group of people with a certain set of beliefs. And that identity is far more malleable than any of us typically give ourselves credit for. So for your own self, you have no fucking idea who you are. And that's a beautiful thing that every day you can continue to like shape and mold yourself into whoever you want to be.
Yeah. And you might not ever know. Or it might be on your last days we finally figure that out.
I hope that I don't ever. I hope that I'm constantly evolving and growing to learn a new version of myself every day. That is sometimes really annoying because I do have a romantic idea of arriving at a place of like, oh, knowing
Pure
everything.
zen and realization of I know without a doubt who I am.
Right.
Yeah.
But the world keeps on evolving, and that would require for me to be on a mountaintop somewhere and not interacting with the world, and I kind of don't want to do that.
Yeah, I do that, Jim Carrey experience where he goes to the top of the mountain
Yeah.
in Nepal and
Right.
it's just in
With the
the
slinky?
Well, yeah, but before that, he's just in the temple with all the animals. That sounds awesome.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Just a, Siberian tiger, grizzly bear on my right, just chilling. I could do that.
Yeah.
That sounds peaceful, actually.
Anything else you want to add?
This was a super happy-go-lucky episode, everybody. Hope we didn't bring you down too much, but certainly these are conversations that we shouldn't shy away from.
Yeah. And this is honestly really how we feel, how I feel. So I think, to have some conversations that have a little bit more of like depth and substance to them, I don't know. I'd want to create space for us to have these conversations here as well.
Here in my safe space.
My quote of the day, I'm going to butcher this.
Yeah.
But it's a Hulk Hogan quote. It's, "Oh yeah, brother." And I say that because I appreciate you, man, and I appreciate having this conversation.
Yeah. And we hope you guys liked it. Again, we want to have insightful, thoughtful, deep meaning conversations, not just the happy-go-lucky stuff. So if it opened your eyes in any way, I'm happy you listened to us, and thank you for joining, and we'll see you next time.
Get a podcast that can do both.
Yeah.
Kellogg's cereals and existential questions. Bono.